All right, Bronco Nation, welcome to another edition of Blue Turf Talk. My name is Chris V. I'm here with Nick. Nick, how are you doing today, buddy?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course. We are excited to bring on a guest today. You know, some of those highlights to start the show are of a very talented running back that just got drafted, and we're super excited and congratulate him for being a Raider. But we want to bring on another running back that's also very talented and also was a Raider as well. We're going to get his thoughts on a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about his career. We're going to talk about some of his causes that he's passionate about and we're excited about as well. I hope everyone is excited, and we'll welcome on Alexander Mattison. How you doing, Alexander?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you for having me on.
Of course, and you are over in Florida, is that right?
Yeah, down here in Miami.
We are jealous of the weather. It's not bad in Boise, but it certainly is not Florida. Real quick, just to kind of go back and relive some of your career for fans that are excited to see you and maybe some fans that didn't get to see you live. Talk about your career at Boise State and what was the factor that brought you to Boise State in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I had an amazing time at Boise State. It was one of those things where, I didn't know too much about the culture, didn't know too much about how amazing it was, but I'm extremely blessed and extremely proud to have been able to have my time at Boise State. We had a great legendary run. We beat Oregon in that Vegas Bowl, got the championship. I wanted to go out on the 2-peat, but, we had that loss in overtime. But, during my time there, it was awesome. And what led me, honestly, to going there was I think that feeling of that culture. I didn't really know what it was, but I got to do a camp in Southern California with the entire Boise State staff, and I just felt it. And I just kind of knew that they were the front runners in my recruiting process. And yeah, I was just glad to be a part of something that felt like home, that fit me as a person. So yeah, I'm just excited. In my mind frame, I was just so excited to be a part of a team that felt like a family, a team that cared about each and every player on their roster, that cared about the culture, that cared about the city, and the city cared about them. So yeah, I got to experience all that, and it was amazing.
And just for a second, reminisce with maybe this weekend more than most. Boise State shows off their ability to prepare a running back for the NFL. Simply put, what did Boise State do to prepare you for the NFL?
Definitely with the mindset. I think that blue collar mentality is extremely different. It's one of a kind, and I think that was instilled in me, and that was something that helped me as I transitioned into the league. Definitely having that blue collar mindset and that work ethic. And I think on top of that, just a little bit of an underdog mentality. We never really got the benefit of the doubt, and just going in year in and year out and proving people wrong and compete, beating Pac-12 schools and competing in games and stuff like that. So for me, it was awesome to have that mentality and have that background of knowing that we're capable of anything that we put our minds to. Feel.
Now, you've been able to fulfill your dream of making it to the NFL, and that's inspired a lot of Bronco hopefuls. We just saw Ashton Jeanty get drafted the other night. Spending several seasons with the Minnesota Vikings after yourself being drafted, what did you learn most from sharing the background with like an established running back like Dalvin Cook?
Man, I learned so much. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned from Dalvin was to be that 6-year-old kid that fell in love with the game, to go back to your roots and have fun. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be a grind. You have to learn what you have to learn. But at the end of the day, have fun. And I've turned my career into trying to do the best that I can to have fun and make others around me have fun. and it's been a blessing. It's been nothing but that. And yeah, if there was one thing I could tell someone like Ashton is continue to be you. And I could tell he's having fun out there, and I just tell him keep having fun, because um, at the end of the day, that's what you have to fall back on, is that kid inside that fell in love with the game. Um, that'll keep you going.
And we could totally see, like, when you and Dalvin were interacting, you guys were having fun, and it's great that, like, a veteran would just allow you to come in there and invade his space, and you guys had fun. It was.
And you have all those years of success in Minnesota, and then you make the move to Las Vegas Raiders. Talk about that transition and what that opportunity meant for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was hard because, of course, I've been in the same place for all my career, and then I have to abruptly kind of shift. But it was a beautiful experience. Definitely is interesting how different organizations and different teams run things. And I think I may have went there at a time where it might not have been the best. When it comes down to how things were run and how things were kind of the synergy of things, just because everything was like so new when it came down to staff and some players and everything. But it was a learning experience for sure. Dealing with the business side of things, dealing with unfortunate circumstances throughout that season, and yeah, I think I just took it as a big learning experience. It was definitely an awesome experience to play for Raider Nation, for one, and be a part of a team like that. Great guys in that locker room that we've established some great relationships, and yeah, I couldn't speak can't speak bad about it at all. It was a great experience. It was great. The fan base is amazing and very loving, and yeah, of course, West Coast is the best coast in my opinion. Of course, being a California kid, so it was awesome being back on the West Coast.
And I appreciate the West Coast love. That's great. It is the best coast, but you're over on the East Coast now, working with the Miami Dolphins, and your career is still going strong. And there's going to be great moments coming up, and there's no doubt about that. But real quick, reflect on what would be your favorite moment in the NFL so far.
Man, I gotta say, there's a few different moments, but one of those would have to fall in that. I'll say the season. I'll say the season 2022 season was a really I don't know, nostalgic feeling, I guess you would say. There was a lot of memorable moments in that season. We had the down 33 and came back against the Colts. JJ with that 4th and 18 catch and the overtime victory in Buffalo. We came back from that game, and I think we were 11-0 in one-score games that year. And yeah, it was a crazy year. It was the year me and Dalvin both switched to our single-digit numbers, and went out to London, and I had a touchdown and sipped some tea in London. So that whole year, those experiences throughout that year were probably some of the best moments, in my opinion, of my NFL career.
And no doubt you've still got a clear path to make some more fantastic moments. I mean, you're in South Beach right now. Like Chris said, we're a little jelly about that. So looking forward to seeing what you do over there in Miami and with that organization. But let's transition. Emotional intelligence is very important to me as a person. I've struggled with mental health challenges most of my life. And so I really admire your efforts to squash the stigma surrounding that issue. So you've been open about the importance of mental health in pro sports. What made you decide to speak out on that issue?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was huge because I understood that some of the things that I went through mentally in college were, um, were things that had me with my back against the wall, thinking that, I might have needed to walk away from the game of football, needed to walk away from my scholarship and just go home. And I don't know, everything was just too hard. Back-to-back things that were happening. I just didn't know what mental health was. I didn't know that I was dealing with it and battling with it. So for me, it was one of those things where when I finally came to the light out of that dark time, I knew I needed to be an advocate. There was a player by the name of Tyler Linsky back, who was a quarterback at Washington State, and he ended up taking his life. And that was life-changing for me because I was going through such a dark time at the same time, and I found my way, and I just couldn't understand what he could possibly be going through and what that could possibly look like for somebody. Because I was going through something that was, in my opinion, all I could think about was walking away from the game of football. So for someone else to go that route, it kind of affected me heavy. We had a triple overtime game with them that year that, emotionally left a good connection, I guess you would say, and respect for players across the sideline from each other. And so when I got into the NFL and I saw, the stigma that was just eating at, some of the athletes, I finally found my calling when it was a moment where I didn't want to have Alexander Mattison merchandise. I didn't want to have Alexander Mattison football camp. I wanted something that was bigger than that, something that was more than me, because it always had been. It always has been about more than me. And so that's when I Am Gifted was born, and my journey with mental health became extremely serious, and that's where I decided to become an advocate for mental health.
And I'm always, and like I said, it's really important to me. So I'm always trying to learn from others, right? So I open up myself. So what are some of the things that you personally do to manage the mental demands of being a professional athlete?
Definitely just finding some things that you enjoy outside of football. For me, family's big. I like to do outdoors things. I like to make music. Got into cornhole. So there's a bunch of different hobbies that, I like to do, and different ways I like to spend time bowling that help me. I think that everybody has something to each their own when it comes down to what you like to do. Some people might like to draw and paint, and some people might like to, run and do exercises and yoga and Pilates. And no, there's all these different things that help you get those dopamines to help release stress, to help you feel better, help you feel lighter, help you feel happier. So I do a lot of different things within my foundation of providing resources and education on some of those positive mental health practices. And for me, it's just one of those things where I find ways to feel lighter and feel brighter. And if that's being in the sun, if that's, having the lighting right in my house, I've had to change out light bulbs because I feel like the energy was a little dull and I needed brighter light in this area of the house and stuff like that. Like, to me, it's finding a way to bring out that light within yourself and keep that shining, so that you can be a shining light in this world and help others as well.
That's awesome. I can relate to that. I find physical activities outside of work helps me with those dopamine levels. So I appreciate that. Looks like I'm on the right track. So,
yeah.
So we have seen like tragic stories in the sports world, right? Do you think that the National Football League is making good strides in supporting players' mental health, or is there anything you think that they can be done for that?
I think they're doing an amazing job, honestly. I'll speak on my time in Minnesota. We had our team clinician, we had a sports clinician, and we had another team clinician, and outsourced as well, like family therapy clinicians and other, and within the network, other people as well. So I would say that they're taking enormous strides. Each team, if I'm not mistaken, now has team clinicians, and that helps for players that need, mental health support. And I think that therapy, players that want either sports therapy or regular. But yeah, I think it's leaps and bounds from what it used to be for sure.
With the atmosphere in high school and college sports now with NIL and everything, there's, it seems like it's like a pressure cooker, right, for young athletes. What advice would you give those athletes who feel the pressure to hide their struggles as they're trying to achieve, the ultimate dream?
I would say, it's okay to not be okay. Everyone's human. There's no need to hide what you're going through. But there's a way to seek help. There's a way to talk to professionals or talk to loved ones. You don't have to, spill your whole life story online. I would actually recommend that people don't just blast their information online, but find the balance of how to find help, how to speak out about it, and how to not just hold it in and bottle it up. But it's okay. You don't have to be the most vulnerable person out there. But I think if you hold in all of that, that's also not the right thing to do or the best thing to do, the healthiest thing to do. So it's okay to not be okay. You're not alone. And don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't be afraid to seek resources and seek information to help you feel better.
That's great advice. Especially keeping stuff off of social media. That's really, really bad stuff happens online there. So thanks for sharing that. I Am Gifted. You've kind of mapped out, how the idea started. We kind of know the timeline, and you've told us the inspiration behind it. What does the name I Am Gifted mean to you?
Yeah, so I'm gifted. We're all about emphasizing that everyone was born with a gift, and you just have to find yours, embrace it, and use it to shed light in this world. And in doing so, you can potentially shed light in somebody's darkness and help them find the light and continue to pay it forward that way. And in that way, we can all grow and make this world a better place. And the principles of I Am Gifted were born from me going through a dark time and finding my way to light. And I think with the emphasis of mental health and suicide prevention within my foundation, within the brand, we're doing what we can to try and make this world a better place, to shed light in the world, and spread love and positivity. And that's what we're all about. And even just, I say the first step, we help you take the first step. And it's a movement. It's more than a brand. It's more than just some swag. It's more than just a foundation, but it's a movement because it truly will start within and spread. And just the first step is when you read I Am Gifted. You might not even say it out loud, but you subliminally read a positive affirmation to yourself in your own voice when you read and you see I Am Gifted. And that's one positive mental health practice, and that's one step in the right direction to spreading that love and positivity. And I've recently started to see the movement come to fruition when someone reads it out loud and they tell me, you are gifted. And like they reaffirm what they're reading on my shirt or on my hat. And I get the chills when that happens because that's the movement that I didn't know was possible. But I believed when I said I really wanted to start a movement, and to see it happening in a way that I wouldn't have expected or thought of. It's a beautiful thing. And I just want to continue to just emphasize to people that whatever your gift is, find that, embrace it, and use it to shed light in the world and spread that love and positivity.
Love that. So big picture. So what kind of impact, what is the end goal in I Am Gifted, like, and hoping for the foundation makes in the lives of young people?
I would say in the long run, an end goal would be for one to become one of the number one providers for mental health resources and mental health practices, but also in a grand scheme, not only help people live better, more fruitful, and happier lives, but to grow and learn and develop the skills to combat those stressors in life, to combat and overcome the adversity that may strike in life, because it's inevitable. It's a matter of not a matter of if, but when. You know, you will come across some adversity. So, providing the tools and resources and skills necessary to stay on the right side of things, or to come back to the right side of things, that's what we're all about. And I hope that we can do that across the country and across the world. When we just continue to spread the movement, we spread the information and resources and become one of those providers that helps do that. And that's through a lot of different ways. You know, we do a lot of different things through our life skills camp, through our Rush to Give initiatives, through our mental health events, where we create a space where it's fun, it's inviting to discuss mental health and talk about mental health and be positive and believe in yourself and chase your dreams. So, yeah, in the long run, I hope that we can just make this world a better place, and that we can create a movement that'll live for generations to come.
Well, that's a movement that I can be all in on, my friend.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So can you share a story or a moment that you have saw in the foundation that's really made a difference so far?
Yeah. One of the biggest moments, I would say, for me is in my life skills camps. We have in California, we have the kids, they stay at University of Riverside for 3 days, overnight camp where they learn about financial literacy, A through G requirements, mental health panel. We do NIL education now. And we teach them all of these things, as well as the skills on the field. And they learn what it's like to kind of have a college schedule. And one of the kids came up to me and he said that the previous year he had attempted suicide. And he was thankful and grateful that it didn't work, because he was able to be there at the camp. And he said that, I'm glad it didn't work, because I was able to be here today. And I will never do that again. And I will be back every year. And I was just so touched, because he was so inspired from that weekend in that camp, to be vulnerable, for one, and share that. And the other part is to make a commitment to his life, a commitment to a better life. And that's, there's things like that you just can't, you can't make up, you can't get back those feelings, those conversations where, the work that you're doing is God's work, and it's the right path.
Something I ask all of our former Boise State athletes is, if you have a message for Bronco Nation, or just anybody in general who's watching this, if you could share any kind of encouragement with them, what would it be? And also, how can people get involved or support the work that you're doing with the I Am Gifted Foundation?
Yeah, if there was a message that I could share, it would be, for one, to believe in yourself and to never let your dreams die. Whatever dreams you have, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. And truly believe whatever it is within yourself, there's a gift. Just find that gift and use it. And I would say that, for me, it's one of those things that's, it's never going to be maybe what you think it is, but what feels right. And go with what feels right. Go with your gut, and don't let anyone tell you you can't. And if you want to get involved with I Am Gifted, if you want more information, more resources, attend the events that we have going on, you can find it at iamgiftedfoundation.org and iamgifted.foundation on social media platforms. And we do a lot of great things and continue to do so. But yes, I just want to continue to spread love and positivity. So I just hope that everyone in the world can do the same.
Absolutely. And what an amazing story and what an amazing foundation. And we appreciate your time today, Alexander. We know you're a busy man playing in the NFL. Real quick, before we hop off here, we've of course mentioned Ashton Genty and what would you give him? What advice would you give him as he enters into the NFL as a running back?
I would definitely tell him, don't let anyone change you. Be you unapologetically and rock out, because it's got him this far. Don't let anyone change you. Of course, you got to learn and listen to the coaches and stuff like that. It is different in the league. I tell you that. Like you go up in that hole, you better be ready. But it's one of those things where if you just bring your own style, if you bring your own energy and swagger, which he has, he'll be all right. He'll be more than all right. So yeah, I just want him to make sure that he believes that and he stays believing in that, and just be Ashton. Yeah.
And I have no doubt that Ashton will. He's quite the character. Final question, and before we let you hop off and get to your day, tell us just briefly what draft day was like for you.
It was crazy. It was. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. I wasn't projected to go day two, really. So it was like a long shot. But I grew up where they told me you have a 1% chance of making it. My agent had called me that morning and said there's like a 15 to 20% chance you go today. And I told him, I said, all my life I've been told that I had a 1% chance to get to this point. So I'll take that 15 to 20% chance. And we had a nice little party, like get together day at my aunt's house. The family came in, my uncle cooked and everything. It was cool. And day two almost slipped away, and it got down to the bottom of the third, and a couple picks left. A couple teams that were interested didn't have any more picks. The Vikings were the last one, and my agent said, they're interested, and it was kind of random for me because the whole process went by and I hadn't heard anything about the Vikings. But that day he told me they were interested, and they traded. It looked like on the TV that they traded out of the third round, but they had just traded back to the last pick. And so when I got a phone call coming to my phone, I actually thought that somebody was calling me. I'm like, why would you call me right now? This is not the day to call me.
No.
And there's about 3 picks left when they called. I'm not even sure. It's kind of a blur, but I think maybe Baltimore was on the clock or something. So maybe it was one pick ahead. And they called me. And when I picked up that phone, I couldn't hear anything, even though it was silent. My family was, they were in the room and they were quiet. And sorry, one second. My family, they were all quiet, but for some reason I couldn't hear anything, and that's just because it was just like, I don't know, the moment was so big or whatever. But yeah, I got that call, and forever grateful for Kennedy Palomalu and Kevin Stefanski and Rick Spielman, Mike Zimmer, who all believed in me, and they took a chance on me, and it turned out to be a great start of my career, and had a great, amazing time. And yeah, it was fun. It was the day a 6-year-old kid's dream came true. And I remember talking to Ashton the day that morning. I sent him a text, draft day, and I said, today's the day your dreams come true. And yeah, they did. So yeah, that's why draft day is so special for me, because it felt like a long shot in the long run, but it all worked out the way it needed to. It worked out the way that it needed to, and it worked out according to God's plan. So it's nothing but a blessing.
And what an amazing message for everyone to hear. And I can't think of a better way to let you go today and end this. But I just want to thank you again for taking the time. I hope everyone gets involved with your foundation. I think we're gonna post the link to it, and we're gonna do our best to get the word out. But thank you so much for coming on today, Alexander. And we hope that you're gonna have a great career, and just stay healthy. And we hope to hear from you again.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you. And as always, go Broncos.
Yes, indeed. Go